Hi, welcome once again to Stone Soup.
The world according to sci-fi geeks.
We're going to talk about some season enders for the series that we watch. So if you don't like spoilers, I mean, these are
Yeah, if you don't want
all about
spoilers
2 weeks
for-
old anyway.
Yep. If you don't want spoilers for Smallville, Bones, Supernatural, Mentalist, Castle, or CSI, go back now.
Turn back, shut it off. You don't need to listen. Okay, we shall start with Smallville.
Yes.
Smallville, first off,
This wasn't just the season ender; it was
it's
the
the series
ender.
ender. And we have known how that was going to end.
More or less.
More or less from the beginning of the very first episode, which is if we're going from Clark Kent, watching him develop into Superman,
Well, the obvious ending is
Superman. He's going to put on those tights.
Yep.
My one quibble about all this is it took him 10 freaking years.
Yeah.
I just don't buy it. It should have
It should have happened a lot sooner.
lot
but then the show
sooner.
went over sooner, and they kept getting renewed, and so they had to find ways to stretch
find
it out.
ways
Even
to stretch
they
it out.
apparently agree
Yeah,
it went on
yeah.
too long. There was an interview with Tom Welling in the paper a couple weeks ago, and even he realized it went too long. What can you do? And besides, he's going to turn down a paycheck.
Yeah. And I was just saying, remember the first Chris Reeve movie? The tagline was, "You will believe a man can fly." Damn, they got that down. Because he's hovering in midair and he rolls around and takes off in midair. It's gorgeous. Now, you had some quibbles.
Well, okay. Spoilers ahoy. But part of the end here is that this whole season they have been fighting Apocalypse. Now they changed Apocalypse. Darkseid. He's from Apocalypse. Please excuse me, brain fart. Anyway, this whole season they've been fighting Darkseid. Now they changed him greatly from what he is in the comics and the cartoon series, wherein he's an actual solid alien.
I was going to say he's a presence, isn't he? I
Yeah.
mean, he's a thing and
No, he's a person.
person even.
But in here, he was more of a kind of an energy being that brought out the dark side of other people. But basically, in the end here, they're saying the only way to finally get rid of him, his whole planet is coming in. That never happened, so far as I know, in any of the other versions. But I don't read the comics that closely. But they need to bring out the best in people. But they took so long in getting Clark into those tights. There's no actual time to show him inspiring people to, basically bring out the best in them and shove the darkness out.
Shove the darkness out of
We
themselves.
see him basically talk the darkness out of Oliver Queen, the Green Arrow,
Yeah.
after he got infected.
Basically, dig down deep and find your inner good, and you can just push this away. And that was an important scene because now we know it can be done.
Yes. And basically they needed to speed up getting into the tights. And I get the feeling that they never really wanted to show him
They
full
did.
on in the tights because we never do see it.
No, they didn't.
And but given he moves at super speed, basically we just see flashes and people start feeling better. Other heroes start coming out of the woodworks in droves, saving people, and that helps drive
She's
it
saying
all
that's what
away.
they should. She's saying that's what they should have done.
Yeah, that's what they should have done. But they didn't. But basically, they just show him zipping by. He saves the plane that Lois is on in classic comic book style. And he just sort of flies toward the planet Apocalypse, and it starts going away. There needed to be more to it than that.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was a good wrap-up.
Yeah.
I loved the little flash into the future where Chloe is reading to her and Ollie's son. That was fun.
Yeah, that was cute.
And we see him looking at the little bow and arrow,
Yeah.
just as if to say, yes, this is Ollie's kid too.
Yeah. In case you're wondering, yes.
That was fun. I've always loved Smallville, and it's had its ups and downs. Not going to deny that. Should have ended sooner, but overall, I've always loved Smallville. I will always be sorry that they couldn't bring in Batman and Wonder Woman, or at least mention them. I mean, come on, it would have been so hard to have somebody reading the paper and say, "Have you heard about this nutcase in Gotham?" Just something.
Something. Yeah.
Wonder Woman, they could have had such fun with her.
Yeah.
But no, because they're trying to get a movie started, they decided they couldn't have her on the show. I don't see why that works.
Well, now,
out well.
then they tried to get her own show started, and it crashed and burned.
Yep.
It never got picked up. And they flashed all over the internet. They were showing us the new Wonder Woman costume, and
Which didn't look all that good, to tell you the truth.
but it doesn't matter whether it looked good or not because we're not going to get to see that because it crashed.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
But that was Smallville. Goodbye, my friend.
Yes.
Farewell.
Hola. Now,
Moving onward.
Bones,
Yes.
because that's how we have them listed here. Okay, the big news at the end of Bones. Brace yourselves. Temperance Brennan is pregnant.
With Bruce Baby.
Now, the main reason that Temperance Brennan is pregnant is because Emily, whatever her last name is, however it is pronounced, who plays Bones, Deschanel,
Deschanel? One of
is
those.
pregnant.
Yes. So
They
decided
had
just
to
write it
account
in.
for a rather large, protuberance there as she waddled around.
If you looked at her in this last episode, you can tell she's already starting to show.
So depending on when they get around to actually resuming filming, if they say I don't know how long they have off, but if they take 2 months off and they start filming, she's going to be big as a house.
Yeah, they spent this whole season with Angela being pregnant.
So they can do a pregnant, That's,
course,
but
it'll be
a lot of
interesting to see
people
how
are going
they-
to be wondering, why did they do that? Because they had to, people.
Of course, it'll be interesting to see how they write around it because now Bones is going to have to be very careful about where she goes and what she does because she can no longer get close to certain chemicals and things because it'll be bad for the baby.
So she'll have to back off.
And she's going to drive her crazy.
And they need to do that. They need to, but I have to get in there. It's too dangerous for the baby.
Sit, stay.
Stay. What's the big blonde intern's name? The one who slept with Angela?
What's his name? Wendell.
Wendell. Let Wendell do it. I would have said Mr. Nigel Murray, but Mr. Nigel Murray died. Yeah, that was it's complicated, but that had to play a lot into how Bones and Booth got together and why, and accidentally got priggers.
Yes. Also, the part of the season finale was the birth of Angela and Hodgins' son.
Yes.
So that was nice.
Yeah.
Actually, it occurred to me when he gives the baby's full name, not only is Vincent part of the name, which is Mr. Nigel Murray's first name, but one of his other middle names was part of the name that Angela's dad came up with that they were like,
Oh, they
no.
did. They did put some of that in there. I know it's a very long name.
Yes, they put in part of it.
That'll keep Dad happy, hopefully. And onward. Supernatural. Oh my God.
Yeah, they got issues.
Yeah, they got big issues.
Their favorite angel buddy has gotten a big power boost and declared himself the new god.
God. Kneel before God. Kneel before God. Oh, man. And Cassiel is so
affecting his
cute.
brain.
I just hate that they've done this. Because they might wind up having to kill Cass.
Yes.
Unless they can find a way to get him to blast all that extra power. Or maybe now God will come back.
Yes. I go, okay, that's enough of that societal experiment. Well, we hope, like as I said, we like Cass. We don't want them to have to kill him. But then again, I think having Winchesters kill God or even an imitation God might be taking things a step too
far. Yes, true.
Just a little. I mean, they didn't kill Satan. They just, managed to lock him back up.
That's true, too. And if you can't kill Satan, you certainly can't kill God.
No.
That would be bad.
One thing with Supernatural is they need to refine their balance.
Yeah, God.
Love the show, but ever since they got in the whole Lucifer and angels thing, they've basically lost their power balance.
Yeah, it's all screwed up.
I mean, I totally get
And they really just tossed it in the toilet when they made Cass so powerful.
Yeah, so this all of a sudden that's going to have to get wrapped up relatively quickly.
Yeah. Well, we said that a couple of seasons ago. That this season they'll wrap that up in no time, and they didn't wrap it up until the end of the season. So God only knows.
We hope. But what I was going to say is that what with all the demons they run into, it does make sense that there'd be good beings out there too, like angels.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, most of the angels we've met are douchebags.
Yeah,
Go
God.
figure. That don't make no sense. Come on, they're supposed to be the paragons of good, and they're almost as bad as the demons.
Well, Satan was an angel who got his butt kicked.
Well, that's true. That's
So I
very
mean,
true.
it's like
He talked back to Daddy and boink.
yeah,
Still,
even further down than Thor, who
Yeah.
at least only got dropped onto Earth. Oh, okay,
but yeah.
So
Well, we
onward.
to see what they do with that.
Yes, it will.
Ooh.
Onward to the Mentalist.
Oh, you want to talk about messes? They're going to have a hell of a time cleaning up next season.
Well, Patrick finally got face to face with Red John. We hope.
He
because
shot
he-
this guy dead in the middle of a
Of a
mall.
mall in front of people. This wasn't an empty mall. So
He
I don't know
sits
how
down,
they're going to
sits
clean
up
up
there.
that mess or even have him.
I mean,
They somehow have to be able to clean it up and him go back to work for the CBI.
and
I don't know
frankly,
how
even if you can get him off of the murder charge for saying it's Red John, how can you ever let him back into the CBI? He's just demonstrated he's capable of cold-blooded murder.
Well, that guy had a gun too. Red
That's
John
true.
had a
That's
gun,
true.
probably on him. That's what they'll say. It was self-defense.
Yeah.
They're
That's
not
everything
going
they
to say
got,
it was revenge, but the way they did it, I mean, Red John was walking away, and he called him back, walked up face to face about 6 inches from him and blew him away.
And of course, there's the other minor problem of we don't actually know for 100% certain that was Red John.
Patrick believed it.
He did.
But there is
did,
a certain
but
school of thought that says Red John is Patrick Jane.
so
and he doesn't know it.
Split personality.
He has split personality. He doesn't even know he is Red John.
But even if that's not the case, it could have been somebody else who we know that Red John has a certain level of hypnotism. He
Oh,
can
yeah.
see him use it on other people. He could have found this poor schmuck, hypnotized him to say the right things, fed him the right information to set Jane off, and then set him off to die.
Yeah. Just to see what Jane would do.
So, yeah, this is a right royal mess.
Yes, it
and I don't know
totally
how
is.
they're going to clean this up right in the next season to be able to keep the show going the way it was.
Yeah. And speaking of shows that may not go the way they used to, Castle. However, I have a feeling Castle they're going to be able to bring back around. The big thing with Castle is that just before Beckett passed out from being shot, she's not dead.
Yeah.
But just before she passed out from a gunshot wound, Castle is holding her and he says, "I love you." And we don't know if she even heard it.
Probably they'll
Probably-
write it that she didn't.
Yeah.
But, or if she did, she'll forget
she'll
it.
pretend she didn't.
Oh, it could be, yes.
Say she'll know, but she won't let him know she knows.
Now, frankly, Beckett getting shot, not that concern-worthy, because, well, let's be frank, TV series do that kind of thing all the time. Oh,
Yeah.
no, that character could die. Not unless you want the show to end.
And
'Cause,
some
yeah.
characters you just can't write out.
Unless you're working for Joss
Well,
Whedon, but
and
that's another matter entirely.
that's a different matter entirely.
The thing is,
He,
Castle is
he
all
never
about...
killed Buffy.
No.
And he never killed.
Wait.
Well,
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
But
Yes,
only
he,
for a while. She got better.
yeah, she got better. Well, actually twice, because the first time she
True.
got CPR, could happen to anybody if you've only drowned. And then he actually killed her, but then he had her brought back. And he didn't kill Angel, except possibly at the end. We don't know for sure. And
Well, but anyway, the point is, well, with Castle, the whole story is Castle following Beckett
Beckett
around.
around.
You can't do that if Beckett is dead. I mean, he
Yeah.
can still be hanging out with the other cops, but I would think if Beckett died, especially in his arms like that, he wouldn't want to anymore.
yeah. I mean, he'd still like the guys. He'd invite them to his place and stuff, and then go to
Go
their
out for
place
drinks.
sometimes, go out for drinks. But he wouldn't want to do what he's been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And he couldn't even tell himself he was doing it for story reasons, for inspiration. This ain't going to happen.
No.
And onward and at last to CSI.
Right. Well, this
Well,
is
we got rid of Nate Haskell. Oh, thank God, because that guy was so vile. I mean, that actor is brilliant.
Yes.
I mean, he is just so brilliant.
the
But the character is so vile that you just don't even want to have him on your TV screen.
So, thank goodness he's dead. The problem is how he
died.
died dead.
Yeah.
Because, well, kind of like with Mentalist, it makes Ray a murderer. I mean, yes, this guy is a complete psychopath who raped and tortured Ray's ex-wife and killed her new husband. God knows he deserved to die painfully. But the legal ramifications are still an issue.
Well, it looks like they're going to just cover it up.
Yeah.
That Ray's friends in the police department are going to say it was self-defense.
To a certain extent,
It was. Or defense of another, which is to say everybody else in the entire universe that ever runs into Nate Haskell.
Yep.
But legally, it was wrong. Maybe even morally and ethically. And maybe they'll have Langston dealing with that, too. We don't
They
know.
should.
They should. But anyway, so far, those are the series enders that we can remember that we found interesting.
Yes. We used to watch more shows, but some of them have been canceled. Some of them we just lost our interest. So
Yeah, I don't
if you were
know.
hoping for a review of Fringe, sorry, stopped watching that a while back.
We stopped watching it about the middle of the second season. We just stopped caring.
It overlapped with too many other shows we
Shows.
watched. And
Yeah, there was that problem, too.
still, it was a fascinating round of season enders
Enders.
this
Yes,
year.
it
It'll
was.
be interesting to see how they clean up some of these messes with the next season.
And
I
what they
will-
replaced Smallville with.
Yes.
Yeah. Metropolis, perhaps. No, because
knows?
apparently Tom Welling does not want to be out there in the costume.
I suppose. See, I can't blame him for that, but I would
Maybe
love
it's-
to have seen that boy in tights.
Well, see, talking about the previous thing with the working out and getting buff, maybe it's just too big a pain in the ass. So anyway, we hope you enjoyed your season enders, and feel free to write us about the ones you thought were interesting. Bye bye.
Bye bye.